Straw Gamer here to talk about One Piece Chapter 815, Take Me With You. Now, this chapter was pretty decent. We got some good story stuff, and we got some really cool character moments. And kind of looking towards the future of what we're going to be doing in the series and over the next couple of arcs. So, at the beginning of this chapter, we got Luffy and Peckhams arguing about pretty much Sanji and this wedding situation that we're dealing with right now. A couple of things I want to say about this. It's really good to see that Peckhams is still loyal to Big Mom. After this, we all thought, oh, well, maybe he's going to betray her and all that. Well, because it's not really the fact that Big Mom betrayed him, it's the fact that Capone betrayed him. I mean, he was still willing to go back to Big Mom and forgive the Strats, but he was not willing to just completely betray the Strat, to completely betray Big Mom and say, hey, uh, these guys saved my hometown, so I got to go with them now. No, no, no. He's still loyal to him, and that's really awesome to see. Another thing we saw in this argument is the kind of revelation of how powerful the Big Mom pirates are and how powerful the Yonko are, how powerful and how much, control and influence they have. The scene or panel when Peckham says, let me go back and see exactly what he says. I'll be right back. So this is pretty much what he said in the manga streams translations, but it's always good to go with the official translation. But this was said in the manga stream translation. Inside the present he's gonna get a present from Big Mom if he refused, and it would be the head of someone who's involved to him. It may be someone from the Barate or someone from the Straw Hat Pirates, or even someone from the Kingdom of the Gay People from his 2-year time skip journey. And that's kind of crazy, the fact that they have the power to even know that when not even the world government knew that that Sanji was there. They didn't even know that Sanji was alive, I think. So it's really crazy to see that the Yonkos have that kind of power and that kind of influence. Um, this whole argument that went on throughout this chapter, or about halfway through this chapter, kind of reminded me of the one that Zoro and Luffy had back in the post Enies lobby arc about Usopp joining back the crew. The kind of emotions and the kind of way Luffy is feeling kind of reminds me of that. Also, kind of the back in Water 7, the argument Luffy had with Usopp, but not as much. I still felt the same emotions when Peckham said that Sanji wouldn't be a part of your crew anymore. I felt that like kind of sting throughout that at that one moment that I felt kind of throughout the entirety of the argument between Zoro and Luffy back then. So we also see some classic bonehead Luffy. Um, you know, doesn't give a single fuck, can only see one thing and goes for that one thing and says, I gotta protect my friend. I want my friend to still be on the crew and I can't have him go get married into a family of my enemies. So I'm gonna go get him back. And, if you're going back to Big Mom, I'm gonna go with you alone and no one else is gonna go with me and I will disrupt the wedding so I can uh how do I put this? So I can, be stealthy. I think I was looking for something more profound, but that's what he said. He was just wanting to go alone so he could be a bit more stealthy, and that's kind of cool to see Luffy kind of think about things. I can't really say he's thinking about things because he's not the most intelligent person in the world, but he he does have really strong bonds though. So we get some really good Luffy moments, and that was really cool to see in this chapter. So after this argument, we see Luffy walk outside, and we see him interact with Zoro. Not for too long. Zoro isn't too uppity and saying, "Hey, don't go at him. Don't go at him. Don't go save him and stay here. We're supposed to be fighting Kaido." He had that moment last chapter, but I still don't think they were completely decided on what they were doing. Luffy seems dedicated to going to stop the Big Mom Pirates, uh, to stop this wedding. And Zoro's like, he's determined. I know he's determined, so it's not even worth arguing with him and saying, hey, this isn't the most important thing we should be doing right now. And that's kind of cool to see. I kind of interpret it like that, like I'm not going to get through to this bonehead, so I'm not just going to let him do what he wants. He's the captain, and that's really cool to see. So on a less serious note, we get the Cat Viper showing up at this different place. I kind of assumed that Luffy and them were with the Cat Viper and Robin and Brooke, I think, and Chopper. I didn't realize they split up until this chapter, but they did split up, and the Cat Viper comes along with Chopper, Robin, and Brooke to go, and Usopp uh, to go meet Luffy and Zoro and the rest of the Straw Hats. You get a really funny scene with him right when Cat Viper, just meets Luffy and says, "Hey, you guys are the rest of the Straw Hats," and he just immediately, like, not immediately, Luffy gets to say something, but he does just jump and pound and Garchu them into a wall, and we see Zoro has kind of a little bump on his head afterwards, and uh, Cat Viper's wounds are reopened, and that's really, really funny. So we also get the return of Law in this chapter, and after about a couple of chapters with the Sanji flashback and all that stuff, the last time we saw him was when he reunited with this crew, I believe. And he shows up his crew. He says, "Hey, this is my crew of 20 guys." And then his 20 guys pull off this little Ginyu Force stance, but they kind of fail at it because their symmetry is all off, and Ginyu would be so disappointed. Law and Luffy kind of dismiss them. They're like, "Oh, hey guys," and then they kind of say, "Hey, I had to talk to you about something," and completely ignore them. And that moment was also pretty funny. So Law is upset at this turn of events, the whole situation with Sanji and Luffy's determination to go save Sanji. Law is pretty mad that his whole plan to go take down Kaido isn't working out the way he wants it to. Zoe is no longer safe. He believed that it could be safe, a little safe haven from Kaido and Doflamingo and everybody. But now Kaido knows about it, and I'm pretty sure he knows that the Straws are there, so they're going to come back any moment. They could come out back at any time, and he's still worried about that, and he's not wanting this whole Big Mom thing, this whole Sanji thing to interfere with this mission of theirs to take down Kaido. He kind of reminds me of a chess player or kind of a MMO party leader. You know, he has his plan and he's ready to put it in action, but then some guy on his team goes off to kill an orc or something and they die, and uh, two other party members go over to him and try and use a revive or something and kind of throws off the whole plan. And something like that. Now everyone's fucked, and when they go into the dungeon, they die. I don't play MMOs. That's just an analogy I came up with in my head. So after this kind of conversation kind of stops, uh, a lot of the minks show up. They're like, "Oh, wow, you're so nice," and they have a party for about 3 panels. And we see, and it's kind of weird. It comes out of nowhere, and oh, party's fine, but and I understand the stuff they went through to have this party, but it's a little weird. After the party is shown, we see the Elder Trio, kind of like the monster trio of Luffy, Zoro, and Sanji, and the weak trio of Nami, Chopper, and Usopp. The Elder Trio of Robin, Brooke, and Frankie, the oldest members of the crew, they have to go watch out for the samurai and make sure they don't come up so they don't ruin all the good mojo that's going around. However, they immediately fuck up this plan as the next morning all three of them are fast asleep and Kanjuro and Kinemon have come up and are running into the city following Ite. I think his name is Ite. I'm gonna call him Circus Monkey. Following Circus Monkey back into Zoe so they can try and find Rizo. This whole moment feels a little odd to me. Um, it's just the fact that they fell asleep and Kinemon and Kandoro felt no inclination to try and wake them up. I mean, they must have. I don't know. It just seems weird. This whole moment seemed like it was executed a little weird, just to bring this conflict of the samurai coming back into Zoe, to bring that conflict into this moment. The only reason it seems weird to me is that I find it hard to believe that either Frankie or Brooke would fall asleep in this situation. Now, Robin I can understand because she's the most, probably the most human person on the crew, except for maybe Usopp and Nami. Well, Nami's probably the most human person on the crew, but Robin's kind of this delicate little flower, and she needs her beauty sleep. And but Brooke is a skeleton. He doesn't need sleep. Uh, that's odd to me. And about 60 years and he still needs sleep. That's weird. And Frankie's a robot. Frankie's a cyborg. Why would he need to go to sleep? Why would he need to take a break from watching, the people? He took a suplex off a fucking city off a skyscraper last arc. I'm surprised he needs to sleep. So I think that's about it. A little thoughts on what might happen next week. I think I said earlier, the Samurai are going to come in and fuck things up. Everyone's probably going to get mad at them, which is, yeah, understandable, but I kind of find it hard. They seemed like nice people when Jack and the people showed up, so I feel like they're going to get mad, or only a select few of them are going to get mad. Like the people who are out on the front lines are going to get mad. Then again, everyone did fight, It seemed like everyone fought, but most of the main people like Wanda, maybe Pedro, maybe the Three Musketeers, they're gonna get mad and probably gonna start fighting. So I'm pretty sure that's gonna happen next week. And I'm not sure what else might happen. So that's about it. Uh, Tell me what you thought about this chapter in the comments below, and thank you guys for watching, and see you later.